Hello everyone, how are we doing again today? It's Rob here, back again, another little game of Beyond All Reason for you. This is a pre-recorded match that I dug out of the archives. It's a pretty fun one, gets a little bit crazy this, to be honest with you. It's basically a 3v1 against 3 hard AIs on Archsimkats or something. Archsimkats, I think, is the name of this. Great map here. I really like this map. This is one of my favourite ones to play. Because it just looks great. I just think the architecture is just amazing. I think the landscape is beautiful. I love all the ridges that you can kind of hang off for defense and stuff like that. I think it's really, really fun. Not much to say really on this. Basically, the way it goes is you get at least 3 choke points down, and then you're laughing. You know, you're laughing once you can box out the AI to a certain point. You can keep scaling, and the AI refuses to scale past the point, and you're good to go. A little pause here for some bizarre reason. Don't know why that happened, but yeah. So obviously, first things first to say is I'm not like a great player at Beyond All Reason by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not like very good at the game, but I did have a lot of fun giving this one a go, and I've got a lot of friends who like to play, and even family as well these days who like to play this game. So really, really good fun. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Basically, we go 3v1, great map, and you know, nothing too out of the ordinary here. We're just basically, well, the one thing I did do is I kind of went heavy on the construction vehicles to try and get as much resource income underway as soon as possible. In particular, you know, we're focusing on these mexes. That is the thing to do. Now, again, the only reason why I can actually play 3v1 here is because I've got all of this land all across the map here, you know, that I can move into. And I do this thing against the AI, basically putting down these LLTs at any of the you know, crucial kind of like mex points, even though it hinders your progress for expansion. It stops this kind of stuff from happening on where like a little tick will come running in, and then he has to think twice, right? Because he can't just go into that field of death. Otherwise, he just gets blasted, you know. And again, the AI doesn't just push the advantage there. It doesn't like go in on a suicide mission against LLTs like that just to take out a mechs or something. At least not on these kind of like sort of griefing early runs that he likes to do. So that's just something that you can use to your advantage. And again, obviously, you know, the only reason why I'm able to win at all is because it's 3 AIs. The AI is pretty stupid in this in the game. So yeah, expansion is basically, you know, push out, grab the mexes, and then you should have at least 1 constructor at home dealing with all your energy needs. And then I've got 1 construction vehicle here up on this vehicle plant there, just helping that to get those units out as quick as we can. Command is expanding 1 way. We've got 2 choke points already set up, and I'm just mopping up any little snide attacks that come in, basically anywhere I can. And that's all there is to it. Once you get these LLTs up, that's kind of like your first phase done, and you know, you just keep expanding at home, and a little bit more build power is coming out. Obviously, vehicles are, I think most of the time, better than bots. Even though, like for example, in this map, you've got all these kind of ridges and hills and stuff. If I press F4, no, it's not doing it now, but basically, you know, the recommendation is that you go for bots wherever there's like uneven terrain, but there's still a lot of flat land here, and it's not really going to hinder vehicle movement that much. Although later on in this matchup, you do see I make a terrible blunder in going for the Thors and trying to push up one of those hills. That's just a stupid thing that I shouldn't have done. I also like doing this. I like to throw up these dragons' teeth there to kind of like hold them back. This is a common theme of the early kind of stages whenever you're playing against the AI. You'll send out artillery, and you just have to send some sorties out to basically push them on those. I'm getting absolutely mopped up there by the Centurion. Didn't really realise that. But this is what I'm talking about. You know, he gets so far, and he can't really do all that much. You know, there's not much going on for him there. He just gets hit by the the LLTs, and now we've got the beamers coming in, and that's what I like to do. So this is kind of like your second stage. Once you've got this all up and running, obviously you continue to expand out there. You just keep going. Nice and neat base here. I think this was instrumental in making things go well. And I probably should have leaned into wind a little more, less solar, because the wind is really strong on this map, so I'm not too sure why I've done that. But yeah, as I was saying, so once you've done that, you can put your LLTs down. After you've got this kind of like first line there, you're going to have some of your units going out to the front just to like hold off whatever the AI is sending at you from time to time, but it's not a big deal. And yeah, as I say, once you're in this kind of setup, you're pretty cozy. You know, there's not much going on there. The AI doesn't have the intelligence to do like, you know, a big all-out push in one area, unless it knows, or unless it like has concluded that it thinks it's going to make good progress there, which 9 times out of 10 it doesn't. And yeah, then after this, you know, you're going to want to be thinking about T2 pretty soon. And that's it. You just keep stacking up those layers on the front and you're good to go. Now, obviously, if we were playing like a 3v3 against humans or whatever, you'd go out to kind of like the midpoint right here in the map. If I can just do this, that point there is maybe where you want to push to. That's like the midway line. The reason why I haven't done that on this map is because, well, it's only one of me, right? I'm going against all three, so I had to like kind of pinch off a little closer because I didn't want to overextend and then get like, you know, chopped away at the sides coming through the water there or something, you know. So I'm just trying to play to the strengths. Obviously T2 coming out now, and you try and make the most of grabbing whatever wrecks you can as well. And this is the other thing I did. So after you've got LLTs, walls, you know, sneaky Pete's down, you've got your beamers out in the front, now you can start adding a few gauntlets just to give you kind of like area control on the 3 kind of main theatres here, right, mid and left, you know, and it basically just griefs them like to hell and back. I don't know what's going on here. The AI is having some kind of interesting sort of dance going on there at the front. I'm not too sure what that's all in aid of, but yeah. So that's how I play it anyway. And as I say, I'm a total noob at this game. I'm not really that good at it, you know. I'm sure there's many of you out there who can give me many good tips and hints and things like that. And so please do so, because, you know, I'm interested in all the mechanics of this game. It gets me thinking playing this. Oh, sharpshooters coming out here. You got to watch out for that. Again, the AI is not that effective, even when it's got fat boys and sharpshooters and stuff like that, and real heavy-duty Armada T2 stuff. It's not really going to be able to do all that much. You're all right, especially not against our Tachyons that are coming up. Love the Armada Tachyons here as well. Probably just about the best pound-for-pound static defense. That was kind of early going into those. Maybe you might want to think about some pit bulls before you do that. But yeah, anyway, that's what I've done. So, you know, it got me thinking, playing like this kind of game, like, why is this so enjoyable? And I think there's a few things that comes down to it, because obviously any kind of online game like this, or any game in general, basically requires you to suspend your belief completely. And I think sometimes if you think about stuff like that too hard, it kind of like sucks all the fun away from it. But what makes this especially enjoyable is just the sheer amount of units that you can get down. The unit cap is just outrageous, and I've kind of been wanting that my whole life from an RTS game. You know, I've played so many, and I love this idea of, you know, exponential unit growth. You know, there's no like upper limit. Let's just see how mad we, you know, I want the computer's GPU to crap out before we get told we can't have that many units. You know, that's my idea of a fun time for these kinds of games. But the other thing as well, going beyond the idea of, you know, suspending one's belief whenever playing a game like this, is there's a competitive element to it, which is really pronounced, especially when you play online, you know, and that kind of gives it an entirely different feel, a totally different vibe. You know, it's not just like this little universe that you're in. All of a sudden it becomes like, you know, you're playing a game of chess against somebody or something. That makes it really exciting to play. And this is just like a little fun one. Just a few little bits and pieces going on there then. So I'm looking into expanding this eco out now, you know, getting this really rocking, and this is basically what I tend to go for. Love the pinpointers. They're really, really useful in just making everything super accurate. He pushes here with some Titans. It's not really going to be enough. You got a few good shots going on there. The all-important anti-nukes are down on the front line, so he can't just like hit me. You know, you can't just blast me out of orbit from that. And you know what else is it to say? We've got the pulsars down. Again, this probably would have benefited from some pitbulls on the front line. They're murder, like those. The Cortex. What are they called? Let's slow this down a second. 1 minute. The catapults are really, really good. I think they're a great, great unit. This kind of caught me off guard here, so I send all these poor T1 units to their demise, and unfortunately this gets through and knocks a big hole in the front line, which you'll see. That's a common theme going through this game. Again, fortunately, right? Any human player would have went like that. Boys, big hole, everyone go through, and that would have been the end of the game. But obviously the AI just doesn't have that kind of capacity, and it gives you, it's very, well, you know, it's very forgiving like that, you know. Again, another big feature of this is the insane amount of these guys that come out, the long-range plasma cannons. It's a nightmare. It's a bloody nightmare. You'll see later on, I end up making like, it must be like 50 plasma shields just to hold them off, because he does end up going into a Ragnar or two. And there's another great example, you know, another one of these, bang, backline, and it would have been all over, you know, that's all she wrote. But again, you just get so much leeway when you're playing against the AI compared to humans. Another jug makes it through, big old explosion, big old explosion, and yeah, now I've got to remake everything again. And finally we see some T3 coming out on my end there. Probably very inefficient the way I'm playing here, but I'm just having fun. I'm trying my best. This kind of stuff, like the commander's been idle for like a preposterous amount of time. Some air comes out as well. T2 air defenses. The Mercuries are absolutely brilliant, because that's basically what he tries to do. He sends these nuclear bombers in. It becomes a bit of a disaster. Over there, I don't know if you saw that, I used this Thor to kind of like block him out, like use a bit of like a doorstop technique there, just literally to body block him so he can't get close enough in to actually do enough damage. When the jug dies, it makes like a nuclear explosion, so you want to keep the explosion far away from your base, you know. That's why the Thors are so good. I think pound for pound they're probably my favourite unit in the game. I'd say the Thors are really, really, really good. There's another one. Should have had a Thor over here doing the same thing, but look, he gets through, and it wasn't so bad. But you know, any competent player right now would have just pushed everything through there, and that's all she wrote. But thankfully, we're just having a laugh. We're having a good old match against some AI just for a laugh. And really, this is it now. This is your win condition. You've got your frontal defenses up. You keep, you know, you add a little bit here, you add a little bit there. Maybe you need some more shields. You need some more Mercuries. You need some more, radar jammers or whatever. And you just keep scaling like an insane person. Eventually, you'll be able to outscale the AI. That's it. I don't know what this was in aid of. And you got to remember, you know, I always say this, but like every failed attack like this, that's like a husk of like 5,000 metal, almost 6,000 metal that the AI gets to feast on by reclaiming it. So tick spam coming in again. That's just for the line of sight more than anything. If I hit player view now, that's just so we can see what's going on. Just slow it down to the normal pace in there. That's just so we can really see what's going on. I just love this game. I just think it's incredibly fun. I can't believe the work that the developers have put into it. It's so enjoyable to play in terms of like everything. I mean, graphically, it's stunning. It's like, I love this kind of like zoomed out, almost sort of like strategic kind of command view that you can get, so you can really do things on a large scale. But look, I mean, just look how beautiful it is. It's just absolutely incredible. If we go back to, you know, it's like something out of Transformers. It's just incredible. It's absolutely brilliant. The visuals are stunning, but the gameplay is really exciting as well. I mean, you can customize hotkeys. You can make blueprints. You know, which means you don't even have to think about stuff. You can just like make an entire blueprint and click once, and then your units will get to making that. It's just so optimized for exciting play, you know. So a lot of the pain is taken out of it. There's so many quality of life features in it. The community is great. Though I've got to say, I think a lot of the online community is very mean. I think, especially to new players, I think people could do with just I don't know, maybe not speaking as harshly online. I understand people get frustrated playing online games as well, because this is the kind of game you can imagine if one flank goes, that's it, you screwed it for everyone. So competence is kind of taken very seriously, I think, in these kinds of online spheres. What have we got going on here? Another useless push. Like, just judging by what he's got in T2 stuff alone here, not that I could see this, but you know, I should have got an inkling. This is nowhere near sufficient. The different types of units in this game are really exciting as well. There's so many different choices, you know. There's not really like one single strategy that always works every single time. There's always different ways to think about things. It is probably, pound for pound, the best strategy game I've ever played. I love Populous at the beginning. I love Dungeon Keeper. I love Age of Empires. I love Stronghold. I love some of the Heroes of Might and Magic games. But this is quite special. Not in any small part as well, because it is actually free and you can donate as well if you want to. Which is just a great model. I mean, you know, especially with the way things like Steam and all these other kind of online game retail stores are going, where like you don't even actually own the game. Like, this is, I've got the game now, you know, and I can, if I really enjoy it, which I do, I can donate, which I will, which I have even, because, you know, it's just so fun, you know, and that's such a wonderful model, I think. And guys, in case you don't know, this is my second channel, in case you've stumbled across this somehow, not from my main channel, which is actually a music channel. Hello, and thanks so much for checking this out. Please feel free to subscribe, etc., and you can check out my main channel, link in the description there. I am a musician and a guitarist by trade. That's what I do. I just happen to love playing some games, man. Every now and then it's really, really fun and exciting. You got to blow off some steam every now and then, right? So yeah, this is what I do. Just an insane amount of units on the field here, and look, you can see this starts to become a real thorn in my side very soon. He hasn't even got the main heavies out yet. The you know, the automatic long range plasmas. That's a game changer. I thought he did at this point, but it's not. It's just because he's got so many normal ones, you know. Another big old push. 2 jugs coming in. So I do the same thing again. I try and block them off just to limit the damage that happens when they blow. That's it. I've got some Vanguards out now. Again, just a brilliant unit. I think it's hard to say, but I think overall I do like Arm better, having played both of them a lot now. There's a lot to love about Cortex, you know, the Juggernaut in particular. If you can get to like 4 jugs, you know, it takes a real special player to do anything about that. You know? So there is a lot to love there. But just the kind of the variety and the specialized nature of the units from Armada is really great. I should have been sending these ticks way deeper into his base, because they're just kind of pooling at parts, and you want to basically, the idea of the ticks is just to constantly give them something to think about and constantly give you line of sight. That's the whole point of it. So if a tick or 2 does go through, it's really problematic, because you only need 1 tick to get like somewhere in the back line here. It starts becoming a real issue, even though they do basically no damage. There's enough of them, you know, so 1 or 2 coming through, especially at this rate, is a bloody nightmare. I just look like, this is another feature of the game. I love the construction turrets and the way you can just set up these factories like that. The commander starts dancing when you haven't done enough. It's just a beautiful game. It's just incredible. And made for free by, you know, by open source developers in their own time, just out of the goodness of their heart, really, just for the love of the game. You really can't get any better than that. Massive, massive disaster on this side there. The Jug made it through and took out basically all of that defense there. That would have been lights out again if it was followed up by anything. It isn't, so we're good. I send these guys out the consoles just to try and reclaim some wreckages, get some of that metal up and running. You know, that's the name of the game, I think. I love this where you can just see all the artillery firing. It's just so satisfying, man. I just start thinking, right, okay, what's the win condition at this point? And it becomes a combination of massive, massive amounts of T3 and a whole host of nukes that you'll see. And again, this is another just fun time when you're playing against the AI, because the AI only ever makes a certain amount of anti-nukes, so you can easily overwhelm them. This is just crazy business, this. Absolute... I don't even know what to describe that, just like a splash of insane... It feels like the computer's going to explode any minute here. My poor little Thor's just getting absolutely walloped. We're not worried at all from this point. But yeah, as I was saying, because the AI only ever makes so many anti-nukes, you can just overwhelm them with nuclear ICBMs. Wow. And the Starlight's just getting wrecked there. That's why the ticks are so good, man. Constant line of sight. You can always see what they're up to. So this becomes kind of scary. We get a big, big push with these behemoths at one point. Two of them back to back. I try and do whatever I can to stop them, but they are basically impossible to hold off. That cannon, that front cannon, just does absolute insane damage there. So it just becomes a job of trying to whittle them down with these pulsars. Again, massive push coming down the mid. And really, it's only because we've got just such an overwhelming amount of tachyon that we can hold this off, even against the AI. You know, I'm feeling not 100% confident at this point. Again, if all that had just pushed me there, it would have been game over. But for some reason, the AI is just holding back, just giving me a chance, which is good. Juggernauts coming through and 3 more Titans, but it's all piecemeal, you know. And actually, it's so poorly done because his own units are shooting at the back of his heavies coming through. So all the while, if they get within that range there, oh, big old chain reaction from the atomic bombers there. The liches. That was great. That was a great play by me, if I do say so myself. Even at this point, I still haven't learned that actually this isn't the thing to do. This is where the stuff is, right? That's where his eco is. You want to go up there and do that in. That's what you want to do. Not this. This is wrong. Because the Thors are just... They're getting caught on the wreckages and there's just too much to deal with. They split up and then they get stuck like this, and it's just not the way. But we did finally take out his energy converters there, so his metal will be taking a hit. Just about. I think he nuked me there to try and stop the Thors, but the Thors are so friggin' tough. It's not enough, you know. Just in case you thought I was kidding about these energy shields, there they are. Like the cobwebs of loveliness that they are. Blocking any and all plasma projectiles that might come my way. It's not going as well over here. We needed more. Here's where it becomes a problem. I can't hold off that. There's not enough plasma shields there to stop a Ragnar. It's actually, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them right now. 2 calamities on me. Which is the Cortex version of the Ragnaroks, obviously. Which I think they used to be called Big Berthas back in Total Annihilation days. Or that could have just been the single shot ones. But my plan was now just build them out from here. So like from the centre outwards to the left. To try and defend this area. He's got bored there, apparently. I've got the construction planes helping me out, making these ICBMs as well. Always very satisfying to see that. We're just 3D printing them. The anti-nuke's there in the middle as well. There we go. He's trying to nuke me. Push all day long. You can try whatever he likes here. It's not going to get through. It's not really going to work. You know, and we just keep this up. But it's pretty much a stalemate until this kind of stuff starts happening. Yeah, until that kind of stuff starts happening. Now we're making progress. This is the push that we've been looking at. That we actually end up taking out his backline here. We actually start doing some significant damage to the eco. With 22 Titans all going up one way. A lot of support from the vanguards there on the back line just to hold them back. And that was a great shot as well. I just assumed there'd be some firepower there, so I tried my best. There goes his back line. And you can tell now already, guys, this is it now. It's his comm's gone. The yellow players, yellow AI is essentially out of the game now. Really, if I was using my head, I should have carried on up here to hit Red's back line. But I didn't really think on there. Instead, I walk into this death trap here instead, which wasn't a great idea. But yeah, epic nonetheless. It's for these moments that we love playing these kinds of games, you know. Oh wow, wow, that was a good hit. I didn't spot that the first time. There we go. Another nuke goes in, but it was splashed down in the pool, and you can tell like now it's over. Now it's over, right? If he didn't manage to push the first time, finally took out that Calamity. Finally got him down, and look at that. He thinks about building another Calamity and another Ragnarok there. I didn't spot that. But yeah, now it's over. You know, now you've got him by the. Woof! You've got him by the short and curlies, as we like to say. And that's it. Through combined arms there, we just slowly start whittling them down. Eventually this Ragnar does get clipped. It ends up being, there you go, in the blast radius enough. That took out a lot of shredders as well. You still see the effectiveness of those anti-nukes even at this stage, because they will, I think it's like one anti-nuke can take out 8 normal nuke strikes. So they're so effective, they're so cost effective, and it just stops your opponent from griefing you with the nukes like that, you know, and basically turning the game around. And that's how you do it. Like if you're interested in playing this kind of, you know, just a little fun one, because I know it can get really sweaty online. You know, this is kind of like a nice chill game where you can just go at your own pace and, you know, build up massive armies, and that's quite exciting. At least it is for me. You know, that's enjoyable for me. I think finally, do we get this? Are we going to hit him? Yeah, lovely. There we go. And now the red AI is basically out the game, you know. And now I push in with Thors on this side. We're going to pincer him. There goes the back line. Wow, and that's it. That's how it ended. Woo! Yeah, that game went on for a long time, let me tell you. But we did it. And this is kind of how it looked in the end for the eco. A lot of aphises. A lot of advanced energy converters all up the side there. And yeah, that was it. So listen, thanks so much for watching. If you did watch, make sure you like, comment and subscribe for more robot-y action. I'm hoping to branch out and do some other games as well, not just this game. My gaming interests are varied and wide-spreading, so hopefully we'll have a good laugh on some of those. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in the next one.